Hey everybody, my name's Henry. Let me show you what we're working on today. Here we have a Facebook find. It's a 1998 Honda Shadow. It came out of a towing yard, had been abandoned at a property, unclaimed. I know nothing about it. The owner I got it from did take some stuff off. You see like the headlights missing, some controls are messed with, the radiator's missing. There's lots of nuts and bolts that have been removed, but for the most part it's all there. I honestly bought it just for a few parts for my Honda Shadow, but I figured while I got it here, why not see if we can get it to run. Quickly looking it over, I didn't get any keys, but I see that the ignition is missing and that someone has drilled out the gas cap and it doesn't latch, it just flops. Looks a little nasty in there, but not too bad, and smells like really bad gas. Don't know how long it's been open, how much water has gotten in there. This seat I only threw there to prevent water from getting in to the wiring, but the wiring actually looks like it's been pretty well messed with. The ignition being missing, the person I got it from had tried to hot wire it before he took parts off and said he couldn't get any power to the electronics. We're gonna have to investigate, see if there's something missing or not connected, but we'll go from there. I think the first step I'm actually gonna do is disconnect the fuel line here and drain that old gas out. While I've got this gas draining, let's see if we can take a look at the wiring real quick. And all this looks like it's been messed with. There's things taped together. Actually looks like there's no lid. Or no, there's a lid, just a hole cut in the airbox. There's no cover here for the fuse box itself. And here we've got where the battery would go. That just flopped down so it's not bolted up. Positive, negative. I'm assuming this is the plug that goes over to the ignition. Looks like it would have reached over there. There's nothing you can see over there. Pull off this side. Well, this is a CDI box, but this isn't an original Honda CDI box. So I don't know if that's part of the problem. Maybe that's part of where all these splices are. Yeah, all this spliced in here is that CDI box being spliced in. For whatever reason that was replaced. I don't know if someone was trying to get it running. Had no spark. And here's what I got that the prior owner had given me. He was trying to hot wire. So I'm assuming that plug and switch plugs in there. But he didn't. He said when he tried to put power to it, he had no power. So let's see what happens. Alright, so I got this toggle switch put in. It's not really a good connection that the prior owner had done. I have my jumper cables hooked up to positive and negative, and then down to a good battery on the ground. And I flip this switch and I get nothing for power to the accessories. Nothing's lighting up. Nothing. Just looking, you got the starter solenoid here. You've got a solid red, so the battery power goes to the solenoid, but is also feeding the positive red to here. Should be feeding these two when you have the switch on. I'm going to just try doing a hard connection between these without a switch and see if that makes a difference. So I've twisted these together. Should be feeding power. Still have no power to any of the lights or the gauge. Don't know if there's a problem in the solenoid, in the wiring. This has all been played with. You can see that there's crimp marks or pry marks on the solenoid, so maybe the solenoid's no good, or there's a bad connection in there. I'm gonna take this power off of here. We've got ground. I'm going to actually use it to see if I can jump the solenoid, the starter side, see what happens. I saw a little bit of a spark, but nothing really happened. Was that the starter side? I think it was. Yeah, nothing's happening this side. So maybe I've got a bad ground. Let's try seeing if this ground is... It's on there pretty good. Let's try that again. Oh, we got movement from the motor. So I know that the starter works and that the solenoid, that the starter works and that the engine turns. I don't want to do much more until I get power to the bike. So let's see. So maybe that solenoid is no good. Starter solenoid. Heck, maybe that's the whole reason it was parked and abandoned. I think if I add power from here to there, let's see what happens. All right, so I just crimped that wire in there, so everything's being powered. And actually, as you can see, I now have lights up here, and I have the mileage reading of 26,823 miles. So I know that this motor, or this engine, turns, the starter works, and I now have power. Now we're going to try the ignition switch, the starter actual switch, up on the steering up here, and see what happens. I have it on run. Let's hit it. And there we go. The motor cranks and turns, and let's see if we can put some gas to it and see what happens. Okay, so I've added about a half gallon of gas to the tank. I currently have it set to reserve. What I'm going to do first is at the bottom of the carbs here, one on each side, I'm going to open up these drain screws, the bottom of the bowl. It's going to allow what's in the bowl currently to drain out. You can see the gas starting to dribble down the motor there. I'm going to do the other side as well. And this will help flush out what might be in the bottom of the bowl. Get some fresh gas in there and see what happens. It's coming out as a pretty good stream there too. I'll let that sit for a moment, close them up, and then see what happens. Okay, so I still got those drains on the carbs open, but the fuel is drained out of the bowl. I want to use the fuel pump to pump some up to the carbs, drain it out, so we got to crank it a little bit here. See what happens. And you can see I got fuel dripping out. I don't know if you can see that down there. It was dry a moment ago. All right, I got them closed. Let's crank and see if this fills up with gas and fires off. Nothing. I'm not sure. The controls here are all messed up. I have the choke all the way pushed, but I'm not sure if it's doing much. And as you can see, there's no throttle grip, so I can't really turn the throttle cables. I'm gonna see if I can turn the cables down here and crank at the same time. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if I can do this while filming. Oh, I got it running. Fires up. It's actually idling real nice. Sounds nice. Don't hear anything odd from the motor. I can't let it run too long because, as you see, there's no radiator or no coolant in it. But it's running. Sounds good. A little bit of backfire there. I do have the choke still open. Let's turn that down. Yeah, it's smoothed out a little bit better. Oh, there we go. Didn't want to run with the choke closed. But fired right back up. And there you go. A little bit of tinking around, this thing will run. And worth putting some work into. Hope you enjoyed it.